Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Blue Exorcist chapter 134. When we last left our heroes, things were actually starting to maybe look good for the Exorcists in the fight against Satan. It didn't at first, though Lucy was able to inflict some sort of dream state on Aegon and Iblis. That didn't do much against Satan, who cut her dragon in half and then skewered her. But then Baal came in. Beelzebub with his little spider boy Baal. And Baal has these webs that can't be torn by anything in this dimension, which allowed Satan to be held still long enough for Arthur to just hit him with this attack that disintegrated him. Arthur's had some weird human supremacist sort of arguments while he did that, but still, it sure looks like Satan crumbled to dust. I'm sure he won't stay dead for long. I think the little image that the chapter gives us the image that the website gives us is of Satan, so I presume he's still alive. But either way, he's dust for now. And we open, though, in 134, with Arthur just using that attack over and over again. Disintegrating, he turns into rocks, turns those rocks into smaller rocks, over and over and over again until Satan is dust. Chapter 134 of One Cloth Awakening. And then we see from the wreckage of the Dominus Limitus, someone is watching Arthur through binoculars, just reporting on the battle. And he calls down, "Commander." And I guess tells Lucifer what happened, because Lucifer then says, he's hooked up to all these IVs. "Father, defeated in one blow. I can't believe it." And then this might be Homere who comes to him. "I'm sorry, but until you're feeling better, perhaps I should lead the attack." And Lucifer turns to her. "That's what you want?" And it is Homere. She responds, "I do not fear death." And then someone interrupts. "In that case, leave it to us. The Lundstrom." Who are these guys? Were these the guys we kind of briefly saw during Ren and Yukio's fight? I think didn't we see these weird buff bald guys during that fight? I have a vague memory of that. I might be wrong, though. Anyway, as the smoke clears, Arthur just proclaims, "Engrave in your flesh the might of Asia's guardian deity." And then he just hears laughter behind him. Wah! And it's Lightning, who's just having a laugh at Arthur's expense here. "Hey, you are absolutely wild. You're the only one who would taunt Satan like that. You're totally fearless." But Arthur just tells him, "Don't patronize me." And Lightning just laughs. Wah! That really was awesome. But maybe you should have stayed out of this fight. Actually, I'm certain of it. Because again, there still is the whole thing about Arthur being a Lucifer clone that Arthur is refusing to accept. And if Lucifer, I guess, could still take over him, as Lucifer is kind of dying at the moment. But Arthur just gets on to Lightning. "Are you still talking? I'm buying time until another unit gets into position." "Yeah, okay. It also bought time to get Lucy to safety." So Lucy's alive? Because we see Osceola running. "Lucy!" And she as she's falling, it's not Osceola who gets her. It's Rin, who jumps up and catches her. What with Satan being gone, he can focus on this, I guess. And Osceola catches up to the duo and just comments, "Rino Kumara." But Rin is just fully focused on Lucy here. "Hey, old lady! Hey!" And then I guess her, subordinates run up to him. "Madame Yang!" Who seems sort of the leader of them, comments, "We'll take her from here. You two return to the front line." And Osceola notes her. "Lu from the Taiwan branch? Please take care of her." And the other Taiwanese exorcists, I guess are the Taiwanese exorcists. Is Lucy from Taiwan? I thought she was from China, and I feel like I'm stepping into half dozen political landmines there. But it said the wiki says she's a member of the Chinese branch. I'm not going to look too deep into that. I feel like there is no universe where I look too deep into is she Chinese or Taiwanese that ends well for me. So I'm going to shut up now. Please take care of her. And Lu sort of hands her to her subordinates. "Is she breathing?" "Faintly." And Lu comments, "She's one tough woman. Follow me." And they all head off with Lucy. And there's some sort of noise, I think. And Osceola comments, "What's that?" And, "Oh, is that Astaroth?" because this like giant mushroom creature spawns. What it says is "boar," but it seems to be translated as "father." I guess he's just like speaking in mushroom, I guess. And this like light emanates from Astaroth, like this light of rot, I guess, spreads over the Exorcist. It's not in the direction of Osceola and Rin, but as a larger like collection of Exorcists. As Astaroth comments, "I'm back. Here I come." And the Exorcists are all like covered in like mushrooms. Whoa! It's penetrating our special anti-demon armor. And did that anti-demon armor come from Lucy? I'm not sure if it did, but I have a vague memory that maybe it might have. Because if so, with Lucy being out, no, it came from Shemi Haza / maybe Shiemi. But let's not think too hard about that right now. But either way, Astaroth is overpowering that armor. And Osceola comments, "A rotting curse, and it's powerful. If we don't stop it soon, everyone will die." And he dashes out. Rin is just shocked. And Osceola goes on the attack. Kalataka Gauntlet 1. Burning darkness. And he just smashes the ground, and like it seems like it's, fire to counteract the rot. As this flame extends out to Astaroth, engulfing him. And he just holds his hand onto the ground. Astaroth screams, "Kyai!" But it doesn't quite do the job, I don't think. And Astaroth is still starting to feel the effects of that curse. And Rin tells him, "Don't push too hard. Leave this to me." And then we come back to Arthur, who's watching the fight with Astaroth. It's getting closer. Should we assist them? But Lightning tells him, "Nah, we should focus on Satan." Which implies that Satan is still alive, as that little preview image sort of told us. Did you notice that too? And Arthur looks at him, confused. "My ears are ringing. The atmosphere is tense." And Beelzebub up above tells him, "They're angry. And there's a light." As I guess Satan is respawning from literally nothing. As like Lightning and Arthur are pushed back, Arthur comments, "He's regenerating." And Lightning, "We can't get close." And we see his demon heart spawn from the void there as he laughs. "Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha." And Lightning comments, "That voice is in my head. I have awakened." Now is at this point, does he no longer need a host? Is that what we're seeing here? It's not that because he doesn't have a host here. He's just spawning a body out of like the air. And that "I have awakened" line implies that something new is going on. Like he's no longer just latching onto a body, he's creating his own. I don't know, that little flame pattern also I think is what we saw Mephisto and Lucifer talking to in the one scene in Gehenna near the end of SSC. So maybe that is what's going on here. "I have awakened." And with his mouth he says, "Now I realize why I hate humankind so much." Because they keep killing you over and over again? But we see this sort of energy funnel up into the air, and then it heads towards Astaroth and cuts his own sun in two. That's fucked up, Satan. Rin is sent, flying back. And then we just see this swirl of energy or something around Satan. As Astaroth just questions, "Father, why?" Oh, and Satan didn't even realize that was Astaroth. That was you? I thought it was just the ground. He just doesn't care. But his body is reforming, and it looks very much like the body he just lost. Yeah. And Rin just gets onto him. "You're hurting your own side." But Satan taunts. "Why should that bother you? It just means less enemies to fight." Wahahaha. "The way you humans think is unnatural." He's back in his body at this point, just monologuing. "The weak fall and the strong rule. That's nature. Devouring and multiplying, as nature dictates, on the path to destruction. You humans avoid the truth." At this point, Lightning and Arthur are headed towards the fight, along with Beelzebub. "You deny it by calling it wicked, and detest it because it's demonic. But they are the stuff of nature. Demons are the way of all things." We see he's seemingly covered in something that might be the rot of Astaroth. I don't know. I also really like this idea of Satan as a genuine force of nature. You know, he's not like, I don't know. While we do see a sort of like, you know, genuine character to him in SSC, the way he's described a lot of the times does feel like he's just sort of this force of nature. And he's starting to take on that persona here, you know? What I'm doing is just the way the world works. And as Osceola, Rin, Arthur, and Lightning all react to Satan's presence, he goes on, the true nature of all living things is the demonic. And then we see Team Yukio, who are headed towards that spot where they can set up the shot. In other words, human nature is also demonic. And we see, you know, people all over the battlefield, and oh, no. This isn't the battlefield, this is the real world. As, like, somehow, when I say force of nature, I didn't realize how right I was. Chaos is just engulfing the world here. Panic in the streets, like robbing little old ladies at grocery stores and just, like, shoplifting, I guess. Smashing cars. As, like, a priest comes in, you must not give in to evil. You must fight for good. And then, like, I think he's shot by some guy. We see this guy, like, mushrooms covering the top half of his face, wielding a knife around. Stabs. And then, is this Paku? I think this is, I think that's her name, Kamaki's friend. We hear, like a doorbell ringing, and we cut to her and her family. We should help. And then someone else comments, no, don't open it. We don't know who it is. And then more people trying to, like, just bust into a house. Tax money built this house. Give it back. We have a right. People are headed towards this, like, underground shelter. Into the underground shelter. It's crowded in there. Please, follow the rope inside. This seems to be back with Mioda. As they're, like, you know, taking people into the temple. Where they might be safe from the anarchy outside. Hurry. Come on, move. And this is the oldest Shima brother, right? The one who married the Hojo. Calm down. And then one of the younger brothers just you know, panicked. Seriously? And someone like rushing in calls, yeah, that hurts. Stop it. And like we just see like a report. You see this reporter talking to like a camera. A mob is swarming the city, and what are you doing? And this guy has like stolen the camera just to like show that he can, I guess. It's the end of the world. The beginning of the end. And we see a newscaster in the studio. The damage from demons and rioting is worsening all over the world. Who could have ever imagined this? And like we see the skyscrapers above him as demons are like towering over them, flying into Tokyo. I will say, if I've had one complaint over the past like 40 or so chapters, is that we introduced this idea that like everyone knows about demons, and then we didn't really do much with it. And I'm glad we're finally circling back to that. You know, because it was brought up around Beyond the Snow, and it caused a little panic for a while, and then we got wrapped up in Illuminati shit, and the flashback, and Rin and Yukio's fight, and this big thing with Satan, and then, you know, 5 or so real-world years passed, and we just kind of left this plotline behind, unfortunately. But anyway, chaos in the world, demons, anarchy, shit like that. Above all, we must protect the lives of the children. And then we see someone in, like, an apartment turns off the TV and is on his phone. I don't know who this is. Reiji. I don't know if... have we met a Reiji before? I don't remember this guy. I just Googled him. This is the guy from the first fucking chapter. The guy who got possessed by Astaroth and, like, ended up leading to Satan, to Rin learning his powers. This is way, way back. God damn, I forgot about Reiji. And I guess his mom perhaps asks, Reiji, will you take your meal in your room? And Reiji, almost like the lord of the house, you know, grants permission. You may enter. And turns to whoever enters. His father contacted the house No, I'm afraid not. I'm going out. Maybe at the TV station. And it's his grandma, I think. No, you mustn't. It's dangerous outside. Reiji, Yoichi is cold-hearted and has no interest in this household or you. Did we know that he had a dad? Like, is there a story with his dad I've forgotten about? Because again, I forgot this guy. Like, I'd forgotten he had a name until right now. But I don't know. Like, it seems like we're kind of supposed to know who these people are. Like, Yoichi. And like, it feels like there is some kind of context. For all of it. Like, I feel like we're supposed to have context here. Or maybe we're not? I don't know. It's an interesting choice to bring Reiji back this late in the game. It does really set up the idea that, like, we are... it's a full circle moment. But also the name Yoichi. I think Yoichi was the guy on TV. Because we see above him emergency specialist Yoichi Shiratori on saving lives from demons. So, which would explain why Reiji thinks he's at the station, because he was watching the news broadcast that he was speaking on. After all, he left you here alone in a time like this. Surely you've noticed that yourself. And Reiji, like, throws a remote, I think, at the door. Angry. Shut up, you hag. Dad's busy at work. He isn't a low-income loser like you. Get out of my face. You're wrong. My father isn't like my mother who cheated on him and left us. So we are like, it's a little late to all of a sudden get like a backstory for Reiji, a guy who has not shown up in 133 chapters. But it's an interesting choice on Kato's part. And he looks around outside like the windows of his room. Father really is busy. He doesn't even notice if I throw parties at home or kill small animals. Because, yeah, this guy was kind of fucked up. But we see exorcists are, like, in his house. Ever since that one day, I can't do anything without them watching me. Ever since that day. And I guess this is the aftermath of, like, the very first chapter. Reiji Shiratori, from this day forward, you are under the protection of the Knights of the True Cross. A high-level demon is targeting you as a vessel for possession. Listen, this is a chance to change how you live. Unless you want to become a demon. Okay, so, I'm trying to think, like, is Kato going anywhere with Reiji as a character? Or is he just here to, like, I don't know, just to remind us of, like, even Reiji from way, way back is caught up in this. But that, unless you want to become a demon line, is a little interesting, because normally that's not how people talk about possession, is it? They don't talk about becoming the demon that possesses you. They talk about being possessed by the demon that possesses you. I don't know. Interesting choice there. And he sort of, as he thinks a demon, the rot of Astaroth appears on his face. Yeah! Whoa! Was that a demon? And as his hand is covering where the rot spawned, and as he removes it, it's gone. Okay. So something's happening to Reiji now. Maybe that rotting curse also extended past here. Maybe the after effects of Astaroth, on top of all the demons who are involved, or like here in the world now. I don't know. Oh, he's fucked up. He is fucked up. Because as that little like manic episode calms down, he reaches towards the window. If I become a demon, and he looks at in his reflection. Will Dad pay attention to me? That's quite the motivation to become evil, I guess, if that's what's about to happen here. Though I don't know, the focus on Reiji here, as like the first villain in the series, coming back, the same sort of daddy issues that like are inherently present in a story like Rin and Yukio's as the Sons of Satan. It's all something to keep an eye on. That's my stance on that. He's not just like wondering now. He's giving in. Look, Dad. And his like fangs grow in. Reiji, like knocking on the door of his grandma. Look. And he sees his like hand, his nails turn into claws. Reiji, I'm coming in. Look. And like the horns regrow. Reiji! And he just screams, look at me, Father Satan! And his mom freaks out. Aye! and the rot spawns into her now, and he has this sort of like rot of Astaroth around him. He's become a full-on kin of Astaroth, it feels like. I'm right here, Father. Oh, no, I get it now. When Astaroth went boom, right, Astaroth needed a new host. And so he's possessed Reiji now. This isn't Reiji anymore. This is Astaroth. I'm right here, Father Satan, and I'm coming to join you. Even after Satan just killed him, Astaroth is still, sucking up to his asshole dad. Alright. And he breaks free. The Exorcist react. He got away. Report to headquarters. And now we're back with Satan on the battlefield. You humans deny nature and mistake yourselves for something special. It's absurd. It's disgusting. You hide your true nature. You are shallow and vulgar and foolish and hideous beasts. That's what you humans are. Which, given the anarchy he's sort of spawning, I'm curious how much of that is some sort of energy Satan is putting out into the world. Because it does kind of seem that way. But anyway, Satan goes on, I am the demon god, and you've really pissed me off. So be ready for what comes next. To be continued. Okay. So, Reiji's back. I'm still sort of, kind of aghast at, Reiji re-entering the story. Sure, just to become another vessel for to become a vessel for Astaroth again. But, it does give, I've sort of been on the fence of let me start over. I've been on the fence of the idea of, is this the final, the end, Because, it's the big fight with Satan. Everyone's ready. They were all talking about the final battle back when it started. But it doesn't quite feel like we're gearing up for an ending. You know what I mean? There's a lot of mysteries. There still is whatever the fuck time loop theory has going on, which I am a little bit more, after my reread, catching up, getting ready for the return from hiatus, I did become a little more convinced into time loop theories, accuracy. I didn't quite find anything that was there's no other way to read this but time loop theory, but there were a lot of things that made more sense if you looked at them with time loop theory. So we still need to go through all of that, and maybe I'll end up pulling a Belial Gore kind of thing in Eden Zero, where the gang just loses and the time loop repeats again, possibly. I don't know. That's definitely a route that Kato could go. But my point being that Reiji's return gives this whole full circle feeling. We're back at the beginning. Once again, here's the way we started is how we'll end up ending. Reiji, Astaroth, Satan, that was kind of the thing in the first chapter. It was the three of them. In very different ways, of course. And now Reiji's back and headed back towards the battlefield. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on next week. The rest of the chapter, there's a bit more fighting, but a good chunk of the chapter is just dedicated to Satan regenerating and monologuing. About the how much he disagrees with humanity, how nature is violent and bestial, and by denying that, he fucking hates humanity. He fucking hates that denial. And I don't know, the question here with this bit, the mob bit, the whole chaos bit, is that something Satan is putting out into the world, or is it a very, nihilistic view of human nature that even Kato is engaging in, with, in times of chaos, people will just turn to violence. Because not everyone is turning to violence. The people running into the Myoda temple are not violent. They're panicked. I don't know. I imagine I'll spend more time with that. But it definitely does seem like that something is spreading, as the guy with the mushrooms out of his head sort of implies. But yeah, we have that whole monologue. We have Reiji back in the battle. Or not Reiji back in the battle, but Reiji re-entering the story for the first time in a dozen years. And I don't know. Satan's just pissed at this point. He just wants to kill and kill and kill. like, I'm not sure if Satan has, like, genuinely thought through a philosophy here, or if he's just lashing out at this point. Either reading is interesting, but I'm curious if, like, he's just looking for an excuse to kill, or if this is, you know, like, you didn't really spend a lot of time looking at the world to really get an opinion on humanity. It might just be an excuse to kill. I don't know. But anyway, lots of fun stuff here. I'm really curious. You know, once again, I want to know what's coming next. Because Blue Exorcist is really, really good. And I'm looking forward to how Reiji's re-inclusion will affect things, how, like, it might just be Astaroth and that's kind of it. But I don't know. Reiji reappearing definitely seems interesting. Along with Satan being ready to rejoin the fight, lots of fun things on the horizon, and I just can't really wait to see what Kato does with all this. So with that said, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, you know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!